Yeah. Good morning, my dear students. A hearty welcome to my today's talk on hotspots of biodiversity. This is my third lecture in lecture series of EVS, that is Environmental Studies, for first sem students of Maharani Cluster University. Please note, this is a compulsory non-core paper for all streams of graduations, right? Now, today's talk is on hotspots of biodiversity. You must have heard of biodiversity. What is hotspot? You know, areas which exhibit high species richness as well as high species endemism are referred to as hotspots of biodiversity. Species richness, I suppose by now you know what it is. It is the richness of plant species and animal species present in that area. What do you mean by endemism then? Endemism is a term that refers to the distribution of a taxon limited to a particular small geographic area and which can therefore be found naturally in this place. And these endemic species are those that live in a limited area, such as a mountain range, lake or island, among others, but they are restricted to a particular geographic area and not to be seen elsewhere in other parts of the globe. This is what I meant by the concept of endemism and endemic species. And this term hotspots of biodiversity was introduced by Myers in the year 1988, and there are 25 such hotspots of biodiversity on a global level, and of these, 2 are present in India, namely the Eastern Himalayas and Western Ghats. I'll come to it a little later. What makes you to consider a particular area as hotspot? What are the criteria? See, these hotspots covering less than 2% of the world's area and which are found to have about 50% of terrestrial biodiversity, they can be considered as hotspots. Plus, another criteria is it should contain at least 0.5% of floral species which are endemic to that particular region. So, according to Myers et al. Means others, 2000, an area is designated as a hotspot when it contains at least 0.5% of the plant species as endemics. And about 40% of terrestrial plants, 25% of vertebrate species are endemic and found in these hotspots. After these tropical rainforests, the second highest number of endemic plant species are found in Mediterranean region, MEERA. And these 25 hotspots recognized by Myers et al. Are found in Western Amazon, Madagascar, North and East Borneo, Northeastern Australia, West Africa and Brazilian Atlantic forests. These are the areas of high diversity, endemism and also threatened by human activities. The main problem here is about 1/6 of the poor people, live in these areas. So if you want to conserve these hotspots, you have to take care of this human population and later plan something, Earlier, only 12 hotspots were identified at a global level, but to date, Myers has recognized 25 hotspots. And as I was telling you, after 25, proudly we can say 2 of them lie in India. I will discuss those 2 hotspots in detail. Okay. So, the Indian hotspots, they are not only rich in floral wealth and endemic species of plants, but they are rich in reptilian fauna, amphibian fauna, then swallow-tailed butterflies and some mammals too. Okay. Now I want to introduce to you a table showing that depicts the details of the global hotspots of biodiversity. Here you can enlarge, or you can just leave or observe it afterwards. I will just let you know the global hotspots of biodiversity. See, first one is tropical Andes. It has 45,000 plant species, 20,000 plants, and the percentage of global plants happen to be 6.7. Vertebrate species 3,000 and odd. Endemic vertebrates 1567, and percentage of global vertebrates happen to be 5.7. So, after collecting all this data, and if this area fulfills all the criteria that needs to be considered to be declared a particular region as a hotspot, then it will be declared as hotspot. So similarly, Mesoamerican forests is another global hotspot. Caribbean, Brazil's Atlantic forest, then Chalk-Calderian of Panama, Western Ecuador. Then 6th one is Brazil's Cerrado, 7th one is Central Chile, 8th one is California Floristic Province, 9th one Madagascar, 10th one Eastern Arc and Coastal Forest of Kenya, Tanzania, 11th one Western African Forest, then Cape Floristic Province, Succulent Karoo, Mediterranean Basin, Caucasus, then Sundaland, then Wallacea, Philippines, and Indo-Burma Eastern Himalayas. This is one of the 25 hotspots which is found in India, Indo-Burma Eastern Himalayas. Plant species here you see is around 13,500, out of which 7,000 are endemic plants, and the percentage of global plants happen to be 2.3%. You find 2,185 vertebrate species, of which 528 are endemic vertebrates, and percentage of global vertebrates happen to be 1.9. So with this richness, it is our pride to tell that Indo-Burma Eastern Himalayas happens to be one of the 25 hotspots that's found in India. And then you get South Central China, and one more hotspot found in India happens to be Western Ghats, Sri Lanka, where you find 4,780 plant species, out of which 2,180 are endemic. 0.7% of global plants are found here. You find 1,073 vertebrate species, of which 355 are endemic vertebrates, and 1.3% of global vertebrates is found in this hotspot. So Western Ghats, Sri Lanka, and Indo-Burma Eastern Himalayas are the 2 hotspots out of 25 which are found in India. And then rest of the 4 hotspots happen to be Southwestern Australia, New Caledonia, New Zealand, Polynesia, Micronesia. Okay. So these are the 25 hotspots what you find in which have been recognized as hotspots at global level, and I have given all the details to put together, of all the 25 hotspots put together, endemic plants, 1,33,149, which cover 44.4% of global plants. And then endemic vertebrates happen to be 9,645, where 35.3% of global vertebrates is covered in this. So this is some data that is given to you to know about the global hotspots. Okay. Now it's my duty to elaborate on Eastern Himalayas, which is one of our prestigious hotspot found in India. They display an ultra-varied topography and fosters a very rich species diversity and endemism. There are numerous deep and semi-isolated valleys found in Sikkim area, which are extremely rich in endemic plant species, and the area covered in this Eastern Himalayas happen to be 7,298 square kilometers of Sikkim, and about 4,250 plant species are found, and out of this much 60% are endemic. Then the forest cover in Eastern Himalayas has dwindled to 1/3, and certain species like Saprina himalayana, it's a parasitic angiosperm flowering plant. It was sighted only twice in this region in the last 10 years. That means you can imagine the rate of dwindling or deterioration of biodiversity, and it's an alarming factor for us to conserve these hotspots. Okay? And to give you some more information, recent studies have shown that, Northeast India, along with those contiguous regions of Burma, Chinese province of Yunnan and Sichuan, it is an active center of organic evolution and is considered to be the cradle of flowering plants. Out of world's recorded flora, 30% are endemic to India, of which 35,000 are in Himalayas. Dear students, on this, you may be asked to write a note on hotspots of biodiversity, global hotspots of biodiversity for 5 marks, or you may be asked to elaborate on Eastern Himalayas hotspots of biodiversity for 5 marks, or you may be asked to elaborate on Western Ghats as a hotspot of biodiversity found in India. These are all the probable questions you can expect in this chapter. And floral and faunal distribution, some statistical figures you may be asked to write. All of that you have to practice well. And coming to the another hotspot, biodiversity hotspot, found in India, happen to be the Western Ghats. The total area covered is 17,000 kilometers square. Strip of forests in Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and 40% of the total endemic species, 62% amphibians and 50% lizards, that is reptilians are endemic to this Western Ghats. Okay. So, forest tracts up to 50-meter elevation covering 20% of the forest expanse are evergreen, while those of 500 to 1500 meter range are semi-evergreen. The major centers of biodiversity in this hotspot happens to be Agastyamalai Hills and Silent Valley, the new Annambalam Reserve Basin. You may be asked for 2 marks to quote this What are the major centers of diversity that you find in Western Ghats? Okay. If you write Agastyamalai Hills and Silent Valley, the new Anambalam Reserve Basin, so that will be the good answer. Okay. It is reported here that 16.8% of original forests are existing today out of what was existing earlier, and rest have been degraded. So this is posing a very serious threat to biodiversity, and it's a serious alarm that we should conserve our biodiversity. You know, although the hotspots are characterized by endemism, interestingly, you know, a few species are common to both hotspots in India. That's fine. All the time I was telling, the moment I say endemic species, they are restricted to a particular region and they are not to be seen in any other part of the globe. But, you know, surprisingly, a few species are common to both hotspots in India. Some of these plants are Tenstromia japonica, rhododendron, hypericum, and the common fauna includes laughing thrush, fairy bluebird, lizard hawk, etc. So they are found in both the hotspots, eastern Himalayas as well as western Ghats. Okay, what this indicates? This indicates their common origin long back in geographical times. So, my dear students, till now I have discussed about global hotspots of biodiversity, and I have elaborated on the two hotspots found in India. I think it is time for me to stop my lecture. See you in the next recorded video lecture and later in the contact class, physical offline class. Till then, stay blessed. Thank you for patient hearing.